Today we're having a conversation with one of my all-time favorite dramatic sopranos, Christine Goerke. So I said dramatic soprano, but what's a dramatic soprano, you ask? Well, it's a soprano with a dramatically massive voice. Christine Goerke grew up in the state of New York. Originally, she did not want to be a singer, but a music teacher for kids, and she plays the clarinet.
The very first time I heard opera, it wasn't because my parents or my grandparents listened to opera. It was a weekend, and I remember it was horrible weather, so I had a tiny little black and white television in my room, and I was about 13 maybe, and I was turning through the channels, and there was this thing. I didn't know what it was. It was beautiful. I was fascinated, and my father came up and said, "What are you watching?" And I said, "I think it's an opera."
She started singing kind of by mistake.
I did a sight singing test, and they said, "Oh, your voice is very nice." And I was like, "Okay." And it sort of kept going and going, and then all of a sudden, the next thing I knew, I was singing opera.
At 24 years old, she enters the Metropolitan Opera Young Artist Program, which is quite an achievement. After that, she started her international career, but she was singing as a lyric soprano. Big difference.
That's the thing about voices. Our instruments are our bodies. Our bodies change, and our whole lives, our voices change. At the time when I started, my voice was lighter and brighter, and I was singing a lot of the lighter music, things like Mozart and Handel. People in the business thought my voice would be to go into bigger things like Wagner and Strauss and, spear and magic helmet music, this with and there's the breastplates and the braids. They were right, but it happened sooner than I was expecting. Because of that, I wasn't really prepared.
And it was not an easy switch.
For people that are not really familiar with opera or the singing, there is so much strength involved and training and breathing and muscles. And there's so much behind the beauty that you see. I had to take a little bit of time to retrain and then audition for everyone again.
Behind the scenes, what's the hardest thing about being an opera singer?
For me, it is juggling the balance between my family and my real life and my job.
On social media, she describes herself as dramatic soprano and soccer mom, not necessarily in that order.
I didn't grow up thinking, I want to be an opera singer. I grew up thinking, I want to be a mother. If you want to find out if you're really having too much of an ego trip, your teenagers will tell you, just so you know.
How would you convince someone who's never been to the opera to go and watch a performance?
Oh my gosh, so easily. I met my husband and he had never been to a classical concert. I always tell people that I've always been a fan of soundtracks. And if you think about going to a movie and what the soundtracks do, imagine what being in a theater and seeing this happening in front of you and getting the visceral sensation of what that unamplified music can do to you, that human beings are making. People say Bohème is a great first opera, and it is, but I tell people they should go see Elektra because it's 1 hour and 40 minutes. Most Marvel movies are longer than this, and the soundtrack is amazing.